Tune in, chime in, sit back, relax, have fun, some smiles, a few laughs. Tune in, chime in, sit back, relax, have fun, some smiles, a few laughs. Jazzy after dark.
It's all about the showtime. Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of Jazzy After Dark. I'm so excited. It's a beautiful fall night right here, and our special guest is international recording artist Robert Ball. That's right. He is here, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm so excited to have this up close and personal conversation with this young man about his career, his modeling career, songwriting, and all that jazz. And he's also going to perform for us later on in the show. But hey, let's check out a snippet of Robert tonight right here on Jazzy After Dark.
Your kiss, your charm, your bright sound. I can be with you, totally free with you. You see that song? Give me the beat, boys, and free my soul. I wanna get lost, we can rock and roll and drift away. Together it'll be just fine. I love you when the rain is pouring down and my shoes get wet. I do. I love you in the evening, in the afternoon, in the morning. Evening, morning. And that's deep, because I'm not a morning person. And you know that. If not, I'll just die. She loves the free, fresh wind in her hair. I do need you. Every breath I take, each beat my heart
Wow. I mean, that is simply amazing. This talented young man, I mean, just gifted, right? So I'm so excited to have this conversation with him. But first, I wanted to tell you, if you do not have your KWARD radio mask, you know what? Shame.
Hey guys, this is Jazzy K. Ward. And if you don't, you need to get your KWARD radio mask. And if you don't have one, shame on you. Well, you can still get them. They're only $15, $5 for shipping. I have a special mask, black and the pink, as you can see here. Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Those are $20, $5 for shipping. And a proceed of your support goes to breast cancer awareness. Hey, this is Jazzy K. Ward, and thank you so much for your support. See you soon.
Jazzy K.
Ward. That's right. Make sure you get your KWARD radio mask. And for those who've purchased yours, thank you so much for your support. Well, ladies and gentlemen, again, right here on Jazzy After Dark, I have a very special guest, international recording artist. I mean, he's an actor, he's a model, he's a songwriter. He just simply has that it factor. That's all I can say about him. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce to you the phenomenal, the talented Robert Ball. Robert Ball is there.
Hi.
Hi, my friend. How are you? Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Hey, and I was over here like watching your video. I was like, neo soul,
hmm
jazz. I mean, what is it that Robert cannot do?
A lot of things.
A lot of I mean, just when you hear your voice, so much talent. And I just want to say thank you so much for taking your time to come on Jazzy After Dark. And I'm just so excited to share your so many gifts with the world. And I'm sure, you've been in this business for quite some time. But for those who are new to your music, I'm just so excited to share that with them.
And thank you so much. Thank you for constantly being a support to my music and to my journey. I'm really happy to be here and chatting with you.
I know. I'm so excited, and I know you're from Toronto, Canada. For those who are just new to Robert, is that where you were born as well?
Yeah, born and raised in Toronto.
Toronto. So I mean, so how has it? So well, I know it's the States, but when you first got into music, was music? I know you modeled, but was music the first? Did music come before the modeling?
So, it's an interesting journey. So, family members tell me that I sang in my sleep as a baby. One of my cousins, actually.
Mhm.
And then my dad said that he used to hear me singing just notes around the house.
Okay.
And then I went to performing arts school where I had to do everything: drama, dance, music, visual art. But visual art was always my first love, actually. That's the only thing I wanted to do. So I was a visual art major.
Okay.
And I was a visual art major all through school at the performing arts school. And then I kind of realized that that was the true gift, the true instrument. And so I started getting gigs out of school.
Okay.
And so I guess, yeah, technically actually singing came first, and then professionally singing came first, and then modeling followed.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. So, I always ask people, so when you first started, did you come out at the age of 5, singing like that? Were you trained professionally, or was this just, some people just have a gift?
It's a little bit of both, definitely. Like I said, it was a natural gift that everybody knew about or could hear, except for me. Everybody knew before I did.
Right.
But at the same time, going to performing arts school, even though I was a visual art major, we did have voice classes and we had choirs and things like that. So I was getting some foundational training.
Okay.
And then when in high school, when I realized that this is something I'm good at, that's when I started taking some private lessons.
Okay. All right. So, and just moving up a little bit about your CD, I think I recall 2011, you had a project out. Was it the Need Project?
I had to think about it. No, the first project in 2011 was Live. It's
Well,
Robert Ball Live. Yeah, that was my first EP.
Robert Ball. I mean, that's when I first discovered you. So
okay.
when I first heard him, it's like, well, who is this guy? Like Robert Ball, and I just fell in love with your music then. And for all of those who are the first time, seeing Robert, hearing his music, can they still go get that project? Is it still?
Yeah, that's still out there. That's still out there.
Okay. And also, and let them know, go to robertballmusic.com and they can find all your latest projects and that you have out, right?
Yeah, robertballmusic.com. That's my website. That'll direct you to where you can find my stuff for sure.
Okay. So tell us about who were some of your favorites that you kind of looked up to in the music industry. Just to name a few that you like who were some of your favorites?
For me, my singing idol is Luther Vandross.
Oh, wow.
First and foremost. Rochelle Farrell is a phenomenal vocalist. Mm-hmm.
I tell people, if you need to always go to a Rochelle Farrell concert. You must.
I know.
Right. So Rochelle, if you're watching, maybe you and Robert can do something together. We're gonna put that out there, Robert.
I receive it.
Yeah. So phenomenal artist. Michelle Farrell, Luther Vandross. So one of the issues is, how do you feel about music? Some of the artists, today, you've been working hard for a long time, and then, you have some artists that just, they pop up out the blue, and, next thing you know, 10 million copies sold. And he's like, I've been on this journey for a long time, still trying to get my music heard. How do you want to feel about the music industry? And,
So look, the music industry is very oversaturated, and it's tough. It's always been a tough business, but with the way that the industry has shifted, where in positive ways, some of the positive ways, unfortunately, counter it negatively as well. So it's a lot easier for people to put out music independently. They don't need a record label. And the whole world can have access to their music. But then because of that, it's so oversaturated. And it becomes a lot harder for independent artists to really get any kind of real acknowledgement and recognition. And then, unfortunately, the industry and the powers that be, the record labels, they realized, oh wait, this sells and this sells and this and we packaged it, and now they market particular brands, right? And I do think that there is a bit of a shift back to real singing if you follow some of the artists that are coming out now. But we hit a dive where it was just like they were just marketing product and not necessarily good music and good vocalists.
Yeah. So to explain, so for someone, you would be considered like indie artist, independent artist. So that means like you're not with a label. So is that financial? That comes exactly like out of your pocket?
Absolutely.
Right. So a big difference versus being on a label, right?
Absolutely, because the label will pay for your recording, will pay for your promotion and marketing, will pay for your touring, will book you shows and gigs and performances and appearances. But when you're independent, if you're fortunate enough to have friends and family that can, sponsor you or sew into you, then, a lot of crowdfunding is something that people do these days. There are grants out there in some places. Canada's pretty good in terms of grants for artists. I've never used a grant. I've always self-funded everything. Which comes with its, problems as well.
Right. So I think you brought up an important statement, in your statement, Robert, is I think, what do you think about artists going back? When you hear artists like back in the day, support is very necessary, don't you think? Yeah. So, you hear other artists like, hey, I'll sing on your project. You do the background vocals on my track. Hey, Robert, when you come out, I'll support you. And do you think a lot of that is missing from artists? Some artists today, not all, but
I think it is missing, or has been missing for a while, because people had these egos, like going back to people being marketed as packages. They were like, well, I'm this entity, and so I can't be seen doing this or that. But you're right, like going back to Motown, and after the Motown in 70s and 80s disco, you had people singing background in the studio, not even just as a featured act, but like singing background for their friend. You know what I mean?
Right.
Even if you think about people like Cissy Houston, who has sung background on like everybody's record, and she was a solo top-selling recording artist as well. Luther Vandross was a support vocalist, background singer, commercials and TV and everything. Kind of before he got his big break, and eventually, I think it was Roberta Flack was like, "You are done singing background."
right. Just but you a lot of times, I watch a lot of YouTube, all the, social media. And when I see other singers, you're just like, I don't sing background. I don't do that. But when I hear singers that, like Patti LaBelle and, like Dionne Warwick, those, it's like, well, yeah, I sing on your stuff. I sing on this stuff. So I think it's right. It's something in here for everyone. And I think that, support is very necessary. And especially like during this pandemic, did you ever expect anything like this?
Never in a million years.
No. So how has that affected, you, Robert, and music? Has it put a halt to anything with you as far as producing music? Because now, you can pretty much do a song and put it out there, right?
Yeah, no, it unfortunately, sadly, it blew up my entire year really badly. So I am in Stratford, Ontario, which is a small town, an hour and a half from Toronto. in context. It's about 2 hours from Detroit. And it's got the largest repertory theater company in North America. So musical theater is something I do as well. And so I was to make my debut season here in a brand new musical called Here's What It Takes, which is written by Stephen Page, who was the former lead singer of Bare Naked Ladies. And unfortunately, just like everything else, that got shut down. I had intended on applying for some grants to work on some new music while I was doing that consecutively once we were kind of in the routine of doing the show. But yeah, everything shut down. So
everything shut down. Well, you know what? I think sometimes, social media, I think it has its good place. How do you feel about social media? Because even though with the pandemic, I think now, Robert, that virtual is going to be here for a while. Concerts, don't you think?
Absolutely. And, in talking to, so the festival has been having conversations about how they're moving forward and everybody's talking about how do we move forward, and digital and virtual is definitely going to be an aspect of everybody's outreach moving forward. So even when we go back to proper live events, it's what do those look like? And then also, are you also streaming live? And where are you streaming? And how do I access it? Or will it be recorded and posted later? That's going to be something everybody's going to be doing.
Right. Yeah. So, hey, everybody, if you're just tuning in, my special guest here is international sensation, Mr. Robert Ball. Make sure you go to robertballmusic.com, and he's going to perform for us very shortly here. So, Robert, I wanted to ask you, do you remember your very first concert that you attended? Do you remember that?
That I attended? I do.
That you attended?
I was fortunate to go to a lot of theater growing up.
Okay.
But the first concert I went to,
right, like recording artists, maybe your favorite singer or something,
was New Kids on the Block.
Oh wow! I love New Kids on the Block.
I was so obsessed with them, and my eldest sister wanted to surprise myself and my younger brother to go to the concert. She didn't know anything about buying tickets for a massive concert like this in a big old stadium, and so she got there and didn't have tickets, thought she could buy them at the door, not realizing how massive they were at the time.
Right.
And so she had to buy scalped tickets. She probably spent a fortune, but I will never forget that moment. It was an incredible night.
Oh wow! Wow. Yeah. I haven't. Are they still together?
No. Well, they separated, and I think a couple of them put out solo projects, and now I think I know a couple years ago. Well, they did a reunion tour or something like that, I think, or reunion album.
Okay. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, my special guest, Robert Ball, we're going to take a 30-second break, and we're going to come back with more conversation right here on Jazzy After Dark.
A live one-on-one conversation, 30 minutes of pure entertainment with musicians, writers, and actors, to motivators, chefs, and even rappers, to up-and-comings with the it factor. It's the Jazzie K Ward coming at ya.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Jazzy After Dark. Again, my special guest is international recording artist, songwriter, model, actor, the one and only Robert Ball is here. And so Robert, Robert is gonna sing us a little something, a little snippet or something, right, Robert?
Yeah. So I figured you mentioned my first EP, 2011.
Yes.
Thank you. And then I'm going to sing the title track from my last EP, Need, which was released in 2017.
Yeah, I'm so excited. So, ladies and gentlemen, international sensation, Robert Ball.
I need you, I need you. 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 I need I need you in the morning time, need you when the sun comes up. I need you in the evening, that's when my desires bubble up. I need you to set me free, only you can fulfill my needs. Oh, I need you. I need you.
Hey.
I need you. I need. Oh, I need you. You're each breath I take. Each beat my heart makes. I do need you, baby. I need you.
I need Robert. You know, I'm gonna throw my phone at you. That was Robert Ball. I need you. Oh wow, that was simply awesome. That
Thank
was
you.
amazing, and that was live. So that's real talent.
Sitting down.
And sitting down. You know, that's talent. That is truly a gift. And ladies and gentlemen, you need to go to robertballmusic.com right now and purchase all of Robert's music, all of it. You know, I love that other song. I love you when the sun.
Yes, I love you. That's you.
I love that. I love the whole. You know, when I listen to your music, you feel your music, and that's a difference. People don't seem to understand. You know, everybody can get up and you can sing, but when you can actually feel and feel the essence of your soul come through your music, that's what it's about. That's what it's about. And you're right. You know, someone asked me also, do you write all of your songs and music? Do you collaborate with other people?
I do write all of my music actually. So everything that I have released, let me correct that or amend that. I do write all of my music. My first EP, there were a couple songs on there that I co-wrote with a producer, Robbie Patterson, who's worked with, he worked with Snow. Do you remember Snow?
I don't remember Snow. I don't remember Snow.
Informa.
Oh, yeah. Yes. I never knew the name. Okay.
Yeah. So I collaborated with him on a couple tunes. My Need EP, I wrote everything. My most recent single, River, I wrote all of that. And then I have recently collaborated with a couple artists that I'm super excited about. G Fusion is a producer, and we worked on a couple Latin dance songs. I think you've been playing one of them.
I've been playing that.
Yeah. So we worked on a couple songs, and then another jazz artist, Taj Lewis, and we just recorded 2 jazz tunes, kind of jazz fusion songs, which will be released shortly. And you get a sneak peek.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I'm so excited about that. And plus, you always have my support, Robert. And also, the new project is out. Breathe. That's the latest CD, right?
So Breathe is the single from Need, the EP.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And there was a music video for that, and that was the single. But then I released River Into You after that. Yeah, I released that in 2018. It's 2 years old already.
Right. Oh, wow. Just, hey, guys, make sure you check out robertballmusic.com. So what about any collaborations, other collaborations that in the future that you have in the works, Robert? Anything else?
So like I said, G Fusion, we just released those songs, and there's a new one. So Running Back to You is out now, and Can't Forget You is out now, but Encore is going to be coming out shortly.
Okay.
That's G Fusion featuring Robert Ball, and then tongue-tied. T-Jazz Lewis.
Okay.
Is going to be releasing a couple jazz songs that I'm featured on as well, and they're available on his website right now, but they are not digitally available yet. They will be coming out soon. In terms of future collaborations, I've talked about a couple things, but they're collaborations that I want to do for my next project.
Okay.
And so when the universe aligns for me to properly do that, I've already reached out to these people, and so they know that they're in the wings waiting and ready to work with me.
Okay. Anybody, that you would love to work with? Anybody in particular that you would like to work with?
Jill Scott.
Oh, wow. You know what? I could see that.
Mm-hmm.
Robert Ball and Jill Scott.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me pick up the phone. But Jill,
Right.
you better get
Jill from Philly.
Yeah, Jill. I could definitely see that. Wow, that would be slamming, Robert.
And then another one. Are you familiar with B. Slade?
Oh, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Of course. That too. Let me call these people. I could definitely see. I love B. Slade.
Oh, he's great.
He's, you're the truth. He's the truth. You put both of you all together. Bam. Unstoppable. Unstoppable. People say, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, Robert. They're waiting on the next project.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you all. I'm waiting on it too.
He's waiting. He's waiting on it too. So, Robert, also, can you talk about the musical that you were going to do? I don't know if we touched on that. I know I recently saw the Into the Woods musical that you were going to do.
Yeah, so Into the Woods, we were supposed to do a concert version of, and I say supposed to because unfortunately it got canceled. We were going to do a concert version of that here in Stratford, where I am right now. And just with the COVID numbers fluctuating, going up and down, the city guidelines changed. And so we had to, unfortunately, cancel that production. But I hopefully get a chance to do it either next spring or in a future date, because I'd love to do that show. If you're not familiar with that show, I was going to be the wolf, which is a really kind of fun.
Oh yeah,
a fun villain. A fun villain.
Right. A fun villain. That's going to be exciting. So, a question for you: What about Gordon Chambers in the future? Someone asked.
Gordon Chambers is an acquaintance of mine. We have worked together on production. So I opened for him once at an event in New York, and then we worked on a production in Brooklyn called Ma'afa.
Okay.
Where he was a soloist, and Yolanda Wynn was a soloist, and I was assistant choir director and also one of the pit singers. So we've worked together that way, but we've never kind of talked about I mean, he's a Grammy award-winning artist, and he's a talented vocalist and recording artist, and
we have, Grammy nominated Robert Ball, international sensation.
Well, I'll tell you what, I've got my fingers crossed right now, because I do something like we talked about, I do a lot of different things. And so as a session singer, not just a recording artist, go into the studio and to your point, I have sung background on other people's projects, or choir vocals, or support vocals, or the hook and chorus on a record. And the most recent one that I did was for the Clark Sisters, the Lifetime movie.
Oh, right.
I sang on a couple of the songs there because it was filmed in Toronto. So we worked with Donna Lawrence in the studio for that. And I mean, that movie, we know it just got so much buzz. Right. And now it's up. It's in consideration for Grammys.
Okay.
I think it's a no-brainer. It's going to get Grammy nominations for sure. It's going to make that first consideration cut. So.
Okay. I had no idea, Robert, that you were a part of that project.
Mm-hmm. And one of my best good friend, Angela Burchett, she played Jackie.
Right. She's phenomenal.
Oh, she's great.
She's great. I see you in theater. I mean, hey, Hollywood, we need Robert, and some more, upcoming, films. Hey, Tyler Perry, hello. Call Robert Ball. Ball. Again, Robert, I just want to tell you, thank you so much for coming on Jazzy After Dark. I do have one more question for you, but maybe questions. Someone watching this, male or female, they want to get into this business. Oh, Robert, I'm sure it's not a walk in the park for some. Any advice that you could give someone that wants to, start a career, or say they're in this career, Robert, and it's just like, you know what, it's so much, it's hard getting my music, even out there, even for somebody to listen to. Any advice you can give them?
So I want to preface what I'm going to say by saying I am the eternal optimist. I am a romantic and eternal optimist. That said, if you can truly see yourself doing something else, then I would suggest that you do it.
Okay.
Right. But at the same time, what I also say, and I say I have an opportunity to mentor from time to time. If it won't leave you alone, that's also a sign.
Oh,
So if it won't leave you alone, if it keeps knocking at the door, people keep calling you to do things, and you keep getting gigs and opportunities, then listen, you go for it. Even if you have your 9 to 5 and then you do that on the weekends or in the evenings, then you do that. Whether it be until it can be your full-time livelihood, or if that's the way that your life ends up looking, which is perfectly fine as well. People forget that making it in success, it looks different. That's an important part to think about, is that success looks different for everybody. And we think about success in terms of like being Beyonce status and being a multimillionaire and having, zillions of followers on Instagram and Twitter. But success might be traveling the world and making a stable, basic living, a good living off of, what you love to do. And people might not know your name and you might not be on TV, but you perform on cruise ships, or you work on Broadway, or you work in theater or tours or in theme parks, or you are a background vocalist or a session singer, all of the above. There are many different ways to be successful in this industry. And so it's about being open to that. And again, if it won't let you go.
Oh, Robert, that advice, you can't get much better. And I think, like you said, passion, you have to have the passion for this. And like you said, if it keeps, nagging and it's embedded in you, hey, keep going, keep going. I remember when Jennifer Hudson was trying, and, Simon said, you know what? I think you'll make a great boat singer. Look at her now.
Yeah.
So you never know.
And listen, well, that's what she was doing before she was on American Idol. But you're right. Like he said that, she left the show, and look at her now. She's Grammy and Oscar winner.
Right. That's right. So, Robert Ball, what's next for you? It's, songwriter, an artist, a model, your modeling career. What's on next for you?
Well, auditioning. As the world slowly starts to open back up, auditions are happening this way. So I actually have a virtual audition next week, Sunday, a week from tomorrow, yesterday actually. So y'all say a prayer for me, fingers crossed. Thank you. A lot of auditioning and trying to get back as the industry tries to get back functioning. In terms of songwriting, I finally started writing again over this pandemic, like a month ago. I was kind of not feeling creative recently, but I have stuff in the bank as well. And I talked to a friend of mine recently who's willing to sit and work with me from a production side on this new music. So that's thinking forward, and yeah.
Yeah. So, everybody, make sure you go to, robertballmusic.com. And Robert, we want you to please come back on the show. Tell us about new projects. What about anything for the holiday? I could definitely see you doing a holiday album, like Christmas. I can see.
I've never done a holiday album, and some years ago, my manager at the time was saying the same thing and suggesting it, and the timing of my EP Need was happening, and so it just didn't really coincide. It would have just been too much of an undertaking. But yeah, maybe that's something I scramble and try to do this year. I don't know. It's not too late.
If you do, hey, maybe, come back for Jazzie's Christmas and just sing a holiday special and have a little eggnog with us.
I could do that.
Have a little eggnog with. Again, ladies and gentlemen, international sensation, actor, songwriter Robert Ball is a special guest. And you know what, guys? He's going to hang out with us at the after party. Over at the after party. So if you're on Instagram, come on, we're going to talk a few minutes with Robert, over on the IG. But again, Robert, thank you so much for being my special guest. You're simply phenomenal. Everybody go out and get his latest project, all of his music, robertballmusic.com. Again, thank you so much, my friend, for
Thank
coming.
you so much for having me. It's been great chatting with you.
It's been wonderful. Again, thanks, Robert.
All
Oh,
right.
wow, guys. Another great show of Jazzy After Dark. But don't forget the after party. Go tell a friend, bring a friend, and come on and hang out with us. Hey, guys, I look forward in seeing you again on Featured Friday. My special guest is recording artist Tony Walk. You don't want to miss this, right? And next Monday, I have another special guest, national recording artist Michael J. Thomas. It's going to be amazing. Again, make sure you take care of yourself and be kind to each other. I'll see you next time on Jazzy After Dark. Good night.
Artist Talk. Jazzy After Dark. Artist Talk. Artist Talk. Jazzy Jazzy After Dark presents Artist Talk. A live one-on-one conversation. 30 minutes of pure entertainment with musicians, writers, and actors to motivators, chefs, and even rappers to up-and-comers with the it factor. It's the Jazzy K coming at ya.